This is Avery says hi. What's going on, everybody? This is the Daily Fantasy Show brought to you by DFO. It is Monday, December 4th. We got a pretty, see, we have a 4-game slate tonight. Nice little 4-gamer. Nice little tune-up for the Spinorama tomorrow. I just made that up. The Spinorama's tomorrow, but yeah, tomorrow.
Right?
Everyone says hi, Avery.
Huh?
All right.
Everyone?
Oh. All right, so let's get right to it here. First game of the night.
Night?
Yeah, you always eat the chalk on playing Avery. Avery's the man, right? First game of the night, we have the San Jose Sharks traveling to Washington to face the Capitals. It is going to be Philip Grubauer against Martin Jones. I'm not going to rub your back while we're doing the show here. It's an interesting game because Grubauer's in that. I don't know if I want to be targeting it a lot, but I do kind of like both sides in this game. I think they're going to go overlooked a little bit. Not a huge Martin Jones guy. He is cheap at 7,300, so that's not a bad value. But if he does have some ownership, I think I do want some Washington exposure tonight. I know Ovechkin and Backstrom's with Wilson. That's kind of unappealing, but I think you can use that mini with a John Carlson. I like the second unit, or the second line is a more cohesive unit. Kuznetsov, Oshie, and Vrana. I don't mind that as well. I'm not a huge Capitals guy. I think this is a decent spot for them. Not like, yeah, they're starting to wake up a little bit. I think they're getting a little bit healthier on the blue line. Niskanen certainly helps. I'm not a huge fan of Grubauer tonight. So, I mean, I do like the Sharks, but from an offensive standpoint, Avery likes the Sharks too. So, from an offensive standpoint, I don't mind Washington tonight. Their power play at home is hopefully waking up a little bit as well. I'm going to go with the backwards. There we go. I feel better. From the 8 teams playing tonight, I don't know. I think from a top line perspective, I think they're down towards the bottom. I don't really know who I put below them. Maybe the Sharks top line, but we'll see. I don't mind Washington. It's a little contrarian probably. But I kind of like the Sharks more in this game because Philip Grubauer's in it, especially that second line. It's cheap. Couture, Hurdle, and LeBanc. I'm not a huge LeBanc guy. I mean, you can leave him off. He is cheap. Couture, Hurdle, Burns for the stacks tonight. I like that for sure. Yeah. If you can't fit in Burns, Pickles isn't a bad option. Right. Yeah. Vlasic is $2,900 cheaper than Burns, who's only $6,600. Avery likes the Sharks tonight, right? Right. So he's out. So yeah, he's out. So Burns at 6,600 is a good value. That's cheap for Burns. This could be a Burns game. Every game could be a Burns game. I definitely like Couture, Hurdle, Burns for sure. The top line doesn't really do too much for me. I just don't like Joe Thornton. I don't mind Pavelski, Meyer, Burns, mini either. I just like the second line more because Couture and Hurdle correlate on the power play with Burns. So that's where I go from there. In net, I don't really like Grubauer at all. I mean, I'm not a huge Grubauer guy. Holtby obviously is much better. And with, I'm completely fading them too. I'm just, I think there is some merit to using San Jose tonight. But just because Grubauer isn't very good, Washington still does struggle on the blue line. I mean, Holtby has been pretty good recently. Martin Jones is interesting, 7,300. I think he's viable in GPPs. If he's going to be chalky, It may make me rethink Washington, but probably not. But you can make a case in GPPs. So let's move on to the next game of the night, which is going to be heavily targeted. It's going to be the New York Islanders traveling to Florida to face the Panthers. It's going to be Yaroslav Halak against Roberto Luongo. I think both lines for the Islanders are definitely in play tonight. The top line, always dangerous. They're very expensive. Tavares is $7,700. Anders Lee's up to $6,600, and Bailey's a little under $6,000. It's really expensive. I think even though they're probably one of my favorite plays, I'm leaning more towards the second line tonight, which makes me think that Islanders Josh stacks, six-man stacks, are definitely in play tonight. I think you can do that for sure. The Panthers are not good defensively, especially since Dadonov went out. They're kind of mixing and matching on the second line, and Trocheck is okay defensively, but his line mates, who they keep mixing up, they haven't played much time together. They aren't very good defensively, so I think you can definitely make a case for both top lines. I really like the second line tonight. As my favorite value stack, Barzal. Five or six man. Barzal, Everlay, and Ladd. You feel better? Okay. I really love Bustad. I'll get to him in a minute. If you want to fit Leddy, you can't. He's expensive tonight. He's $6,100. I think I on DraftKings anyway. I think I prefer Johnny Boychuk tonight at $4,700. Or I like punting with Calvin DeHaan. I don't know why, but he's $3,200. But yeah, the second line is probably going to have some fairly significant ownership tonight. So I guess a way to get a tad contrarian with that second line is to use Andrew Ladd. He is really cheap. Most people like to leave him off. I wish Anthony Beauvillier or, Hosang was on that line. Yeah, Pulak is on power play too. He's cheap as well. He's under $3,000. I like that as well. Ladd really doesn't do too much besides make a lot of money. But he's $3,700, provides nice salary relief if you're trying to jam in, the Islanders top line or, the Boston top line or Calgary, something like that. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's the Islanders side. I really like the Islanders. I think they're my favorite play of the night. But, again, on the flip side, my top play, which is a little bit different than my favorite play, will be definitely the top line of the Panthers. Barkov with Huberdeau and Nick Bustad, who is $3,500. I love Nick Bustad. He is really talented. I hope he, sticks up there. And when Dadonov comes back, he plays with Trocheck on the second line, which would be really nice. He came up as a center. He struggled with defensive assignments at the center position, so they moved him to wing. I don't think the Panthers will be contrarian at all. I think they will be popular. But, what are you really gonna do? I mean, it's a 4-game slate. You're gonna get ownership. Like last night, Winnipeg and Vegas were really chalky, but if you faded both of them, or even just one of them, you didn't make any money. So if the chalk hits, yeah, you can game stack for sure. I did good last night too. But if the chalk smashes and you faded on a 4-game slate, you are behind the 8 ball. Is Burns on the second power play unit? Whatever unit Burns is on is the top power play unit. I don't care if they call it the second. Matheson's not bad for 3K. Yeah, Quick gave up that 6-on-5 goal. That kind of sucked, but what can you do? Top line's really all I'm looking at from Florida. If you want to use Yandel or Ekblad on the blue line, that works as well. Matheson is a decent punt. You can game log Warrior Matheson if you need the salary relief. In net in this game, I don't really have interest in either. Halak at 7,500. I mean, I guess he does make sense in GPPs if you are using the Islanders, just because, you know, the Panthers' depth does get a bit suspect after that top line. So, I mean, you can make a case for Halak for sure in GPPs. Yes, I didn't mention Matty Niskanen, the road cone in Washington. I think you can use him for sure as a punt. I don't have too much interest in Roberto Luongo at all tonight. I think he gets lit up like a Christmas tree. So I'm going to fade Luongo for sure. So let's move on to the next game of the night. We have the Boston Bruins traveling to Nashville to face... Yeah, I prefer Yandel, especially at home. Yeah. So Boston Bruins traveling to Nashville to face the Predators. It appears Ryan Johansson's going to be out. So on top of that, they split up Arvidsson and Forsberg. Arvidsson's with Bonino and Colton Sissons. Why? And then Yarncroc is with Forsberg and someone. I forget this someone. Oh, Pontus Aberg. Whee! Yeah, Aberg. I like Bonino and Arvidsson tonight, kind of a little bit, but I don't know if I want to go there because I think they might get a little action on Bergeron, which would make me not want to use them. The top line in Nashville, I guess tonight by default, would be Turris, Smith, and Fiala. And normally I'd love that line, but they're probably also going to get a fair amount of Bergeron. And that's not something I like to target in DFS. Bergeron's one of the best two-way centers in the NHL. Yeah, Aberg is definitely a Buddha play. Buddha, 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 rocking everywhere. That's what I imagine him do at his computer while he's building lineups. You all right? No? Okay. So for me in this game, I do like the top line for Boston. They are expensive. Bergeron 6,900. Marchand is 7,000. Pasternak is 6,800. Maria is about to pop in. She was just over before. Not as good as advertised, by the way. Anyway, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Oh, right. Wrong. What was I like Boston one tonight. They are really expensive. And it was one of the Nashville beats, I think, I forget his name. One of the Nashville beat writers, put out a stat from Nat Stat Trick about how long the lines have played together. The current lines have played together tonight. I think it's going to be Pekka Rinne, I think, is already confirmed. So that makes me really want to stack Boston one. I know it's a small sample size and the numbers don't really... Rinne and Cash. I don't know. I mean, there's not many options tonight. I mean, either in Cash you're going to go Rinne or Mike Smith, or you can even make a case for maybe Martin Jones or Anton Khudobin. Yeah, Smith and Fiala's not bad for salary relief. I'm not going to be on them tonight, especially with Bustad being 3,500. I like the Boston top line. If you can fit them with Krug, I do it. If not, Charlie McAvoy is good at 4,500. If you really want to go punt city, Brandon Carlo at 2,800 will save you some salary for sure. In net, not a huge fan of Pekka Rinne tonight. He is 8,000. You can use him in Cash. as I say, I'm not a fan of him. I just don't like this matchup for him. There's always a case, Rene, at home to use. I'm more on the Boston side of this game. I think you can use Rene tonight, though, if you're not using Boston. My preferred goalie in this game is Anton Khudobin at 7,400. I think you can use him in any format. He's going to see some shot volume. Boston has a good chance to win this game. He actually has been the better goalie than Tuukka Rask, which is why he's been getting the starts. So, yeah. For Nashville, if you're going to, one off a defenseman, yeah, you can fit them with Calgary. That works well. I like PK Subban at 5,400. Roman Yossi's more expensive than Burns. I'd rather use Burns. Matthias Ekholm, 4,800, is kind of pricey for me. So, yeah. Let's move on to the last game of the night. We have the Philadelphia Flyers traveling to Calgary to face the Flames. The Flyers have lost 10 in a row. They have swapped their lines. It is Couturier, Giroux, and Wayne Simmons. The second line is Voracek. Who's the second line? Voracek with... Why am I having a brain fart here? Fippola and someone. Raffle, that's it. I fucking hate Raffle. Philadelphia one's an interesting play for me tonight. I think I like them as a contrarian stack. They're like around the same price as the Islanders in Boston. I think they're going to go overlooked because they've lost 10 in a row. Mike Smith got lit up in his last game. I'm not a huge fan of Philly, but I think as a contrarian stack, because of how expensive they are, and they're after losing 10 in a row, I think you can definitely make a case for using Couturier, Giroux, and Simmons. I like Simmons on that top line. Voracek is more of a passer, and Simmons just goes to the dirty areas and scores goals. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of like that line tonight for sure. They're going to get the 3M line, which kind of, backs me off them a tiny bit. But, yeah, Philadelphia one's going to be really low owned. Calgary's PK has been suspect. Yeah. Their PK is brutal. And they correlate on power play one. So I think you can go there for very low ownership, maybe a little bit of a leverage there. Again, if you're going to use, that line, you can use Ghost at 5,300. There's also a case for Provorov, even though he doesn't correlate on the power play. He does have all the peripheral stats that you need to pay off at that price. Not a huge fan of the second line for Philadelphia at all. So it's really going to be Flyers one, the contrarian Flyers one or bust. On the Calgary side, I really love the top line. Tonight, Brian Elliott back in Calgary. This is a rough spot for him. I really like the top line. That's like, there's not really much analysis that goes behind that. They're gonna get the Fippola line, who are pretty bad defensively. I know Voracek is there now, but Raffle doesn't really do too much for me. They are expensive. They are less expensive than the Flyers top line and the Islanders in Boston, so they're probably going to have pretty high ownership. But this is one of those spots that they are like, this is a really good spot for them. Yeah, Elliott isn't... Yeah, I mean, the one thing I don't like to do is use the Flyers goalies. For whatever reason, they can't produce goalies. Bob was in their system. He sucked. Then he went to Columbus and won a Vezina. Who's the universe? What the fuck's his name? Ilya Bryzgalov. The funniest goalie on the planet. He sucked in Philly. God, I love Bryzgalov. He lives in New Jersey now. I should go find him and do a show with him. Yeah, Mason. I love Mason. Now he sucks again. Humongous big. That kind of sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's all right. Yeah, Brizgalov actually lives like 20 minutes from me. I need to find him and get him on a show with his Huskies and his hot wife. Yeah, I do like Mike Smith tonight. Despite my interest in Philadelphia, I think you can play him in any format. Until the Flyers have lost 10 in a row for a reason because they suck. Now they're trying to change up their lines. This might be a desperate attempt for Hackstall to save his job. Calgary one definitely in play. I don't mind the second line again. Their peripherals are really good. They are very cheap. I think they're a decent pivot off of the Islanders' second line. I kind of called for a week's shorthanded goal their last game, which was kind of weird, but they are still super cheap, so I think you can use them if you want a little bit lower ownership, maybe from the Islanders' second line. I'm going to fade Elliott. I like Mike Smith in any format. I think, on the blue line for Calgary, if you can get Dougie Hamilton in at 5,200, definitely do it. Giordano's only $200 less, so I'd rather spend the $200 for Dougie money. Brody's not terrible at 4,400. I'd probably pass there, though. That's really about it. So that wraps up the 4-gamer. Avery was pretty tame today. He's chilling, watching his iPad. This is kind of a straightforward slate, almost, kind of like yesterday. Tomorrow we should see some interesting stuff with the Spinorama and a bigger slate. I don't know if I'm going to actually have a show tomorrow. My son has a doctor's appointment in Philly at 1 p.m. So if it goes quickly, I should be home by 4:30, 5 o'clock. Maybe I can hop on by 5:30. I'll try to get on. At worst case scenario, I'll have I'll pop on Periscope at around 6 o'clock, but I'll try to get on. I'll have time to research though. Brizgalov lives in New Jersey now. He's in Bergen County, which is close to me. Yeah. So, Terry, welcome. Now you're going to say something mean about me. I'm so sad. I'm in New Jersey, too. I'm far from Verona, though, I think. Is that Verona, South Jersey, right? Yeah, there you go, Terry. Whatever you're into. Essex. Is that... Yeah, okay. I'm in Warren County. Top 3 lines. Just from a pure play me perspective, I'm going to go Islanders 1, Florida 1, Calgary 1. In terms of my preference, I'm going to go Florida 1, Islanders 2, Calgary 1, then Boston 1. In a minute, buddy. I still think you can use Dougie if you can fit him. Dude. Put a hole in the wall. Value D-man, I think Mark Eduardo Vlasic is in play. Let me pull up my little handy-dandy notebook here. Nope, I didn't create Blue's Clues, so stop asking. Vlasic is in play. Yeah, McAvoy's in play. He's a little pricey at 4,500 in DraftKings, but I think Calvin DeHaan, Matty Niskanen, who else? Matheson from Florida at 3,000. Brennan Carlo at 2,800 for Boston. Yeah, Boston. I know Tomas Hickey's back in the lineup tonight. Doesn't throw me, but he's 2,900. Robert Hagg is 2,900. He sees a bunch of minutes. Who else? Yeah, I'm not sure. I kind of like Krug tonight. Devontae Smith-Pelly. He's like on the fourth line, isn't he? I believe Pulak is in on power play too tonight, yeah. Yeah, Hamonic will block a couple shots by accident, maybe a couple into his own net even. Yeah, Devontae Smith-Pelly's on the fourth line. Who'd you ask about? McAvoy is a one-off? Yeah, I would use McAvoy as a one-off. I don't know if he's unplayable. I mean, for 2,800, how much are you really expecting? I go DeHaan there. Jeez. I like Calvin DeHaan. Nah, he's on some medicine that's upsetting his stomach. Yeah, Pysyk. Not bad at 2,800 either. I don't know if you really need to go down that low tonight, but there are some guys. Avery, was that you? Yeah. He'll claim him. Who else is down there? There's someone that was you? Yeah. That was just him ripping the chair. All right, so that covers the 4-game slate. I will hopefully be back tomorrow before 6 o'clock to cover the big Tuesday slate. So I will be in the DFO premium chat tonight. You still really should sign up and hop in there if you're not in there. We have projections. I had Riley Smith last night. We have projections. We have a cash optimizer. We have a GPP optimizer. It is good stuff. You get the chat. You get AD's line matching article. You get me. I know that's why most people sign up for me. Yeah, one lineup for me. So I will see y'all tomorrow. You can always @ me at Twitter if you want. You send some hate mail or some victory laps. I don't care. I like Twitter. I like interacting with people, except for the porn bots. But see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully you guys win some money. Over under 150K for spin. I'm gonna say 200K. I'm gonna say 200K. 25,000 the first. No, I'm saying over 25K to first. If I'm wrong, you can roast me. It's fine. I'm gonna give DK the benefit of the doubt here. They've been running these special tournaments. I mean, the penalty kill has been a disaster. It's really small. It didn't even fill the last time, but they have been. They don't run queues to it. If they ran satellites to fucking penalty kill, it would be bigger. Just like they run satellites to the Spinorama and the Light the Lamp, they can make them big. The penalty kills every Thursday. Every goddamn Thursday, they should run qualifiers for it. Sorry, I'm done ranting about it. But I will see you guys tomorrow and win money and be happy. Avery says bye. Bye, everybody.